Hi everyone, welcome to the next video from this page from Tiny Year by Agotapop, and we have a little horse to colour today. Now this is a little rocking horse. If I come in closer you can have a little look. Now we have a few Christmassy touches. We have a gift, we have some, it's not really holly, but we have something there, some leaves and circles, berries or something, and some stars, so that's really cute. And I'm just thinking about what colour to do the horse, and while I'm thinking, I think I'll probably colour something else. Now it's got a little red mark on my page here. I'm just going to try and erase it, but I don't think it will, but never mind. That's, oops, sorry. Now if you ever get that and you want to eliminate it, erasing isn't very good, as you can see. Sometimes it works, but rarely. So what you can do is, if you're using white paper like this, you can go over it with a white pen. It's a risk though, because the pen might not be the same shade of white as the paper. You could try it over on this side to see whether that's going to work or not, or whether it will just look worse. Another thing you can do is create a background, and then you can just get rid of that. That's quite a difficult option, but I have seen a lot of people do that very successfully. I have decided actually I'm going to start with the rockers, and I'm going to use 77 to make them look like they're made of quite dark wood, but I'm not going to press massively hard, but I'm just getting going really. Yeah, while I was yapping I made a decision and thought, let's just go for it. Let's just go get on and get some colouring done before I forget what my idea was. I just popped downstairs actually to get a drink, and because my husband's mopping the floor, so I thought I'll go and get a drink quick before he starts. And he was napping at the kitchen table. He said he'd had a massive blood sugar crash after lunch. He'd eaten, what was he eating? Honey on toast, and he'd had some cheese, but he shouldn't, well anyway, don't like him having honey really, but he really enjoys it, so what can I say? What can I do? Right, the hooves of the horse I'm also going to do in the dark brown. This is the 76, a slightly different shade. I am going to sharpen it. I could do black. Yeah, I think black. Sorry to mess you about. Black. I think horses' hooves tend to be black, don't they? I think so. I don't know much about horses. Not that this one needs to be realistic. Number 9. Now we could do the horse blue, pink, orange, purple. You know, it could be any colour really, but I'm going to do it a sort of brownish, orangey brown colour, I think. It's the colour I've decided I'd like it to be, but you can colour along with me and go with your own colour. Think about what colour you would want it to be if it was your horse. Which colour? I'm just checking my swatch chart. I think I want the 73. Here it is. I'm just going to make a start. So we've got this little tiny bit of leg here. It's going to be quite a bit darker there, and probably there compared to the middle. I might have to come back with a darker brown to put in some shadows, but I'm thinking if we do the edges, particularly of the legs, a little bit darker, so I'm just going over that a few times, then it will look more rounded, less flat, because it isn't a flat item, you know. And around the back like that, and then a little bit less as we just come in. I'm quite liking this colour for this. I don't, to be honest, I'm not keen on this colour, but I think for the horse it's nice and warm, and I think it's working well. But obviously, as I say, you might want your horse quite a different sort of colour. Imagine getting a horse for Christmas. I always wanted a rocking horse. They were just so expensive when I was little. I expect you can get cheap ones these days. Everything, it's weird. You seem to be able to get a lot of things cheaper, like just stuff, toys and bits and bobs. Whereas if you want food, it's dearer, I think, than it used to be. it's very strange. I think it's because of where things are made. Excuse me sniffing. I think that, you know, things can be made cheaper in other countries, and the cost of importing them is not as high as it used to be either. So that makes quite a big difference, I think. I'm just trying to figure this out, where to go dark, where to go light. Yeah, so I think, you know, it's the same now though. If we want to buy a German pencil made in Germany, or a British pencil made in England or Britain, or wherever it might be. I don't know of any pencils made anywhere but England, but there we go. They're a lot more expensive compared to buying a pencil that's made in China or Mexico, you know, such as Prismacolors or Brutfunas or Castle Arts or whatever, you know. But it is interesting, and I think that goes for everything really. But I see there are clothes you can buy, for example, made in England, but they are so expensive compared with all others really. And it's like, you know, who can afford that? I mean, obviously some people can, but in fact, well, probably not. I was just thinking, I bought something the other day from a company that's based locally, a piece of clothing, but they probably don't make them, manufacture them in this area. They probably just package them up and design them. This is number 76, and I'm going to use this for the mane, the tail, and the inside of the ear, but I do need to sharpen it a bit first. Oh dear, I'm sorry about the sniffs. My son said he was a bit coldy. I'll have to see if he's feeling any better, whether it really is one, because we might need to warn our visitor that's coming tomorrow. I think mine is just from where I sneezed. But I'm trying to make it a little bit lighter along the middle of each bit, just to make it look like it's catching the light, like it's really shiny, nice condition mane. Yeah, I've told this story quite recently actually, where they used to, I think it was on here, it might have been somewhere else. Anyway, where when I used to go and try on shoes as a child, the shop used to go down to the basement for the children's department, and there was a rocking horse, and we were always allowed to go on the rocking horse once we'd chosen our shoes. It was great fun. When my poor father was paying the however highly expensive price for shoes, it's mad because what my parents used to pay for shoes for me as a child, I used to pay for my children, and I used to pay a lot for my kids' shoes as they did for mine. So that's another example of something where the price has come down significantly because it's the same price, and with inflation, you know. So that's, you know, my mum would say, you know, when it was time to buy her shoes, and she was having to, well, actually they had to buy her shoes really often because our feet grew so fast, me and my sister, and she said it would cost them so much money, and they would really struggle. They used to, you know, have to reduce the amount of food they were buying and things like that in order to afford it. Why didn't you tell me I'd forgotten to do that leg? The poor horse looks so silly, and nobody told me. 73. Oh dear, poor horsey. Did you think I was going to just completely forget? Or maybe you've told me in the comments. There we go. There you are, horse. Now you've got a leg. Now I'm thinking I want to make my horse look slightly more festive with the saddle. So I'm going to go red with part of the saddle. So we have our 29, and I'm going to do the actual main seat bit in red. I think it's a good colour for a saddle anyway, and we're picking up the festive vibe. with this red really bright. I do want to put a bit of shadow on it, but I want to get a really deep red. So I'm going to layer this red up a bit, and then I'm going to actually put in the shadow with a different colour. I know this paper can take a few layers. I have put a bit of paper behind the page. I was just thinking. And I'm going to do this bit in red as well. Like that, and this bit. And then the stirrup we'll do in, probably in silver. Now the next bit I'm going to do in green. What shade of green? I always think this one, the 5, goes really well. That's the 52. That's the 5. It's missing. Huh? That's weird. Is it on the floor? I haven't used the green yet. Sorry. Where is it gone? Put it away in the wrong place. Now I'm confused. I used it in the last video, so it can't have gone far. I'm going to have to use the 52. I just don't know where it's gone. So I would use the 5 for this. I'm sure it'll look okay in the 52. Where's it gone? Did someone eat it? I just made myself a drink, but I didn't need a biscuit with it or a pencil. Right, there's that green. Looking very festive, and I'm going to do this bit in green as well. The bridle. Those circular bits I'm going to do in red in our 29. Now, I've forgotten to do his eye and the inside of his ear. I've just got really carried away. So I'm just going to sharpen the 76. So this is 76, you can't see that at all. And I'm going to make the ear a bit dark and do the eye. That possibly could do with being black, I think it could. So I'm going to go over it with the 9, which is the black. Which we used for the hooves, didn't we? 9. There, that's better. I'm going to put a little bit there too. There. Now I want some shadow around the edge of here, so I'm keeping the 9 in my hand, and I'm going to put some just around the edge of the shadow. No, saddle, just around here, like that. Because I want this bit to look like it's set in, this bit sticking out. I don't know why I want it to look like that and why I think that's right, but something in my head is telling me that's the right way to do it. I don't know why. Now I'm going to go for a darker green. This is the 55. Sharpen it nice and sharp, 55. And I'm going to go just around the edge of here. If it'll go down. All the way around this edge. And then all the way around this edge. And hopefully it'll look a little bit more rounded. And then the bits of shadow underneath the bridle. I think the bottom parts. There we go. Okay, let's do the stirrup in 83. Here it is, 83. Now I'm going to make it darker on this end and then lighter, so the top of that arch is white. And then on the bottom one, I'm going to do the same thing, so it's got a lighter bit in the middle, so it just looks a little bit shiny, like it's metallic. Okay, now let's do our stars. Next, I'm going to use the number 16, our golden ochre, and I'm going to go right into the corners and then fade it a bit like that. So we've just got the little triangle bits filled in at the minute, not the centre. Yeah, because we're going to use another colour to finish them off. Like that, and just, they're all going to look the same. Now here I was considering doing the light ochre, but it's a little bit green, so I'm going to go for one of my browns. I think I'm going to go for the 11, which is the sand. There it is. So number 11, and I'm just going to go over what I've done and extend the colour towards the centre of the star. I'm still trying to ponder where that pencil's gone. I put them all in my hand and then I put them away bit by bit, and I'm wondering whether I either put it away in the wrong place, but I can't see it in the pencil tin, or I must have just dropped it on the floor and maybe it's under the desk. I just looked under the desk. Aha, hang on, there's a pencil on the floor here. Yay, there it is, number 5. Okay, might use it in a minute on this one. I think I will. I'm going to use it here. It's really short. Look how short it is. I've got another one somewhere. So if you use 5 here, you can use 52 here. I think that would be a better combination personally, but I can't because I lost mine, but you know. So I'm going to try and fade this to the tip. So darker near the berry. Imagine getting this on Christmas morning, waking up and having a rocking horse. As an adult, that scares me quite a bit. I've got nowhere to put it, and I would never use it. But as a child, can you imagine? Wide eyes, excitement. So what's your most exciting present you ever remember getting? I'm trying to remember. I remember really liking my tiny tears. That was a good present. And it came with a little carry cot that you could make into a seat. I think my mum bought the tiny tears and my grandfather bought the carry cot thing. And I just loved the idea of that you could give it a drink and it would go right through it. You put this little nappy on it and it would get absolutely soaked. Do they still have dolls that do that, I wonder? Anyway, I really liked it. I used to squeeze it and it would cry and have a wee at the same. Who thinks of these things, really? Although I did have some dolls which had the sort of magic bottle where you would turn it upside down and the milk would disappear. And you'd always wonder, where did it go? Where did that milk go in the bottle? I remember saying to my mum, I want to take it apart so I can see where the milk goes. And I was never allowed to. It's very sad. My dad explained it to me though, I think. Right, we're going to use this number 50 on the tips just to brighten them a little bit. I'd like to have a more solid green colour, but not all the same colour. So I'm putting most on the tip and then just blending it down into the rest of the leaf. Yeah, I can't remember. The thing is, I always had so many presents. And they do say that the more you have, the less memorable they are. I had so many because I had so many aunts and uncles. I was really lucky and got lots and lots of presents, but it meant that I couldn't remember what I had. This is 260 and I'm going to do start my berries with a bit of this at the bottom. So I want quite a lot down here and then just scumble it up a little bit and fade it. So I get a lot of dolls' clothes, knitted dolls' clothes. I remember my mum making my Cindy some underwear, because Cindy's never had underwear and I didn't like it. I thought she would get cold. So I asked my mum to make some 27, and she knitted her a bikini. I remember that, but she made some lacy underwear by stitching together some very fine lace into some little knickers. Really clever. My mum was very good at sewing. I'm sure she still is. She doesn't really do it anymore. She does knitting. This is 29. No, I'm lying. It's 299. I'm going to finish it with this one, I think. Yeah, she used to do all sorts of... She used to have knitting patterns for Cindy clothes and dolls' clothes and things and make them, because it was so expensive. It was always cheaper to buy the wool and knit them yourself. There we go. Now our present. What should we do? What colour box and what colour ribbon? I'm really into my reds and greens festive-y colours at the minute. We could use that 551, the pale green. This one's getting short. Mine's getting really short. 551. I'm going to use this for the ribbon. So it's a slightly different shade of green. I'm going to fade it to the middle like that, and then put a bit more at the top and fade it down and leave a little light bit in the middle to make it look silky. And with the knot, I'm just going to fade it up. And then with the bow, there is room, I think, to do a darker bit here, fade to the centre, and a darker bit here, fade to the centre, like that. And the same with this one. Oh, I can hear the water running. I think husband's filling the kettle again to do the floor. But what colour parcel shall we have? I do think I want red. I'm liking this red and greens. Now let me just see. Do I use that slightly dull red? 72. Yeah, I'm going to use 72. It's called the English red. 72. Now I'm just going to put it down in a layer to start with. I love all these ideas of boxes and ribbons and things. We never had things like this. We would just get presents wrapped up in paper. There was never any bows or ribbons or gift bags or anything. It was all too expensive. But it didn't matter. Just got lovely presents. And there we go. I think I want a bit more on the edges. A bit less harsh with the shadowing. There we go. Now I'm going to get a darker colour and just put some shadows in. I think I am going to use the 9. Do be careful with the shadowing with a 9 because it's quite dark. It can make things look dirty. But you just have to be a little bit careful. So I'm just going to go under the mane and the bridle, just putting in a bit of shadow here and there. You don't even have to do this bit. If you'd rather not, you don't have to worry about it really. It's just a little extra bit. There we go. Bit behind the leg there. Here, look, as well. And then with our leaves, just where it's overlapping the berries. And I've made them look a bit like holly berries, but they're not, because that leaf is not holly, but don't know what it's supposed to be, so it doesn't matter really. There we go. There is our rocking horse. I enjoyed that one. I was not so sure about how much I would enjoy colouring a horse, but actually I really enjoyed it. So it is done. So we've got one more. Now, as I said before, the next one won't be tomorrow because we've got planner. I think I've timed that right. I think I've worked it out right. So I think there's the Johanna Basford Weekly Planner tomorrow afternoon. And then the very last picture, which is this one, Letters to Santa, Letters to Father Christmas. This one will be after I finish the planner, however long that takes. I don't know what the next planner is. Just going to have a little look and see. Is it complicated? No, I reckon that would be about a 2-day. Probably a 2-dayer. So this one, you'll just have to wait a few more days for this one. But if you're a member of my channel, you can go and find the compilation of this page and you can do it right away. Right, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day and happy colouring.